Most people are waiting to feel confident before they move, but confidence doesn't lead, but clarity does. So if you're stuck at the starting line, it's not fear that's holding you back. It may be uncertainty. Let's talk about it right after this.
Let's talk about love and marriage the way that God intended. Life experience, here we share it. The Low Fruit Podcast. Tune in from any platform. Low Fruit Podcast. Will help your spirit transform.
Hey y'all, how y'all doing?
Hey, everybody. How are you doing out there?
So we really would like to kick off this episode talking about or dealing with the word confidence. I know myself, I have lacked that word, if you will, a lot of times during our marriage. And a part of that is because of my self-doubt and, unfortunately, moments or areas of comparison, whether it was intentional or not, purposeful or not. And so understanding how to lead, how to move the family forward or whatever it has been, or could have been, I lack the confidence because of not being taught how to make things a little more clearer. It's always been something I had read not too long ago about the idea of multitasking and how multitasking takes away your focus. And so as the moments come about to do A, B, and C, and you're trying to do all the above, and you're like, hey, you know what? I can do all this at the same time or whatever it is. But unfortunately, you're losing in the end because you don't complete a task or whatever the situation might be. So ultimately, because you're not finishing, yes, you can lose confidence. You can get distracted or whatever it is. So I know for myself, I've lacked confidence because of that. I've lacked confidence because of not getting what I felt like was the support that I thought I needed, or wanted or desired at that time, in that place. Again, comparing, what somebody else has versus what I have, or whatever the situation might have been. I've had moments like that. How about yourself, Kafa?
I mean, I think I, as well, like you, have had issues with self-confidence, with self-esteem, how I view myself in the world, having that lack. It has shown up not only in our marriage, in my parenting, but in other relationships as well, workplace, things like that. So that lacking of confidence is a strong thing. It can certainly take away and impede your progress. But as you said at the top of the show, confidence isn't necessarily the part that you need to move forward. You need to have clarity about things. So for me, I think sometimes I may not even have had the clarity about things that stopped me from moving forward in some things. And I don't know if those two are connected, clarity and confidence. Like, do I need to have some bit of confidence to even seek out clarity? Or does clarity come, without any connection to confidence? What do you think? Are they connected or not?
I think they are connected. I think what happens is, I know for myself, where my confidence has risen a lot lately is writing it out, of planning it out, and not just doing things by the seat of my pants.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes in that, and you can't do everything that way. You can become that robotic or whatever and not allow for things to grow and manifest and, all that type of stuff. And not saying that you can't still be blessed in that robotic space, but there can be a level of hindrance in that because you're controlling that. And so once writing things down and reviewing it, researching it, this is not for everything, but just some things. The ability to have that clarity allowed my confidence to show because now I know what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
I know what steps I need to take. And so this past, year or so of just living, I've experienced a whole lot of different emotions and feelings and life experiences or whatever it is. But the one thing that I have to say is that because of working things out, planning it out, and not anticipating the outcome, that's the other part as well. And just allow, because unfortunately, I think sometimes when we anticipate the outcome, we're limiting what God can do for us.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're kind of controlling it, so I know for myself, planning it out, have an idea of an outcome, but not working 100% to that desired outcome. And so confidence has been in, I know I'm moving forward, I know I'm getting things done, and I know that the outcome will be in my benefit, but just not controlling it 100%. So that's how I feel like confidence is connected to clarity. Once you have a real game plan and an idea and it's written out, charted out, whatever it is, I think that's where the confidence comes.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. As you're talking it through, I believe we have to have clarity first. After having the clarity, having the plan, then that builds your confidence. Just to come in and say I'm going to make a sweet potato pie and I have no idea what I'm doing. I need a recipe. I need some clarity. And then with that recipe, I can begin to have some confidence in succeeding at that task. Having a picture, having, other things to assist, help to build a stronger, more clear picture and creates more clarity. And then with that, the result is having more confidence. So I would agree.
And so I think also when you're writing that down and you get to see it and work towards it or whatever it is, you're also checking in on your mental health, right?
Mm-hmm.
And physical health, because again, you know what actions need to be taken.
Right.
Again, you know what exercises, whether it's a physical exercise or mental exercise, that need to be taken, so that where you don't have that fatigue or that exhaustion straight from the gate, because it can be if you're trying to do everything all at once, you could be exhausted by the end,
Mm-hmm.
and it's still not getting to what your desire is. Now you're frustrated,
Right.
and now you don't know which way to go. And then now you're looking also for an additional help from the outside. You're looking for outside gratification or whatever it is. That doesn't really help out either, because it's not really hitting the mark of what you're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm just speaking from experience on that, of not understanding that happiness and joy comes from your relationship with God, and understanding what is your mission, your vision, how it aligns with God's purpose for you.
Mm-hmm.
And so some of that again, confidence
Mm-hmm.
comes through getting clarity as you're praying, you're fasting, maybe exercising, all those type of things. So the challenge comes of being patient in that as well, because unfortunately you think that things should change in an instant. It's that microwave mentality. So I think that writing it down and making the vision plain, as it says in the Bible, right? I think that's very key to building your confidence, building your self-esteem, and not just dealing with situations as they arise, because it could be more detrimental if you don't really put a whole plan and whatever together.
Right. I mean, you definitely may not have a whole lot of confidence in something if you're not putting a plan together and forecasting what things, how things could be. But there are a lot of people who do move through situations, not everything. As things, happen, they deal with it. I don't know if they have confidence. I guess time after time, hey, they feel as though, or they're confident that, hey, things will work out because it did before.
It's that Ty Tribbett song. Once he did it before, he could do it again, vibe.
Right.
But there's a lot of times where you can't rely on that, though. Right? Because there are some other factors that has to be played into that. Whether it's age, health, the other players that's involved.
Right.
Because everything is not going to always be internal, because, we're human beings and animals in general, most are community based.
Yes.
And so we're all interconnected one way or another. So I think that anything that we're working towards, it's there's so many extenuating factors,
right,
in those situations, and I think that's what makes a difference as well.
Okay, what advice would you give to somebody that may be in the situations like we just talked about? Hey, we're lacking confidence. So what would you say to them?
I would probably say to, especially my fellas out there, husbands, boyfriends, or whatever. Just in my own experience, being married for over 25 years, not having things written out, and having a clear plan, and having an understanding and communication, through communication. And communication is all the above. It's verbal, it's physical, whatever it is. And so just expressing how you feel, what you're going through. And I understand those things are not always easy to do, because of ego, because of, again, health situations, or because of we didn't see the examples in front of us, to do those type of things. So, my thing would be to really sit down and write things out, and maybe also helping you write it out. Or, I'm sorry, you writing it out can help you explain it as well. That way you don't lose track. Because sometimes we can go in with all good intentions, and because somebody said something that triggered us and threw us off, now we lost our final 2 or 3 points, which is really what we wanted to get to. Now you come away dissatisfied. Now you're coming away disgruntled, or whatever the situation is. So my suggestion would be, especially to my, like I said, my fellas, my husbands, boyfriends, so forth and so on, that write it out, and pray about it. Do whatever you need to do, for those that are not into prayer, if you're into meditating on it, working it out 100%. You know, I honor and respect each and every one's perspective on that because everybody's different.
Right.
You know, so do whatever you need to do to make sure that your message is clear, because when it comes to being married, when it comes to the future of your children, even your adult children, as y'all have listened to us in the past about being the sandwich generation, you know, if you have a game plan, and sometimes those adult children may not want to listen to you 100%, but if you come with a real sense of leadership, it's a little easier for people to understand and follow. And if you're working a plan, you know, that's where things are. So what are your suggestions?
I guess I'm going to come twofold because, again, like I said earlier, you know, I lack confidence in myself. And I'm sitting here reflecting and like, what did I do to build that confidence? And a lot of it is trial and error, giving things a try, not totally turning away from it. And as you try things, you know, out, you will build confidence. But you got to start somewhere. You know, I guess, you know, look at it in reference to learning to ride a bike. You know, you have to start and have that idea to ride. You may not have a plan of like, okay, I'm going to get up this number and try it out this number of times at this number of hours or minutes. May not be that finite of a plan, but the plan is, hey, I'm going to learn how to ride a bike. And you may have a goal in mind, like you're going to ride it into the sunset or along Kelly Drive or whatever that idea or that goal may be. And the confidence comes from just trying over and over again. So I think some of that has been what I've done in the past. Is it the most effective way? I can't say that it is. I think it's multiple things. Again, sometimes it is, as Maurice said, you know, writing things out and having a plan, having an action plan. Again, knowing, hey, I'm going to practice riding my bike after school on these days. I'm going to have someone assist me, that type of thing, and thinking all those things through would be beneficial. And I know, again, riding the bike, I was learning how to ride it at a very young age, so no, I wasn't coming up with an action plan. But beyond all of that, you know, to the second way I would like to say is communication, talking to others, because then I think you'll have a better sense that you may not be in this situation alone, and listening to how other people have gone through the situation or what helped them can help you as well. So their action plan or their steps to success may be able to help you, and then that can build that clarity that you need in order to become more confident. So that's kind of, I guess, my advice to everybody that, you know, try again, but also reach out to others, listen to others. I'm hoping that that's why people are tuning in to listen to us so they can have better clarity on certain things. And, you know, we're happy to provide that.
Yeah, I mean, so, you know, I want y'all to think about this, though, you know, that a lot of times when you don't have clarity, you know, you might hesitate in making a decision. You know, you can also overthink things, and you can also second guess yourself. So I want you to think that clarity restores that movement, that momentum. You know, it can restore faith and peace because you have it written out, and all you have to do is just like, all right, God, we've been through this. You know, we walked it out. Now it's just time for me to take what you have given to me and move it forward. And there's a lot of people that's around us unfortunately who, I don't care how much I've suggested to write it out, make a plan, think it through, whatever it is. It's a whole lot of people floundering. It's a whole lot of people that, kind of looking like, well, Maurice, I'm not like you. Well, no, you're not like me. That's what I'm saying to you. In order maybe to be a better you, right? Write it out. Because I can't tell you that you're going to be like me. I'm not asking you to do that. I'm just asking you to write out your vision, your ideas. It's not from my perspective. Just write out what you got going on. So I think that's one of the things that I believe makes a difference.
Right.
Is writing it out. And in that way you're not, and I have a great aunt, that, she writes down key points to almost every conversation. I just saw it the other day, and she's writing down dates and times when she's spoken to people, what they might have talked about or spoken about, or whatever the situation might be. And so when I'm looking at that, I'm like, well, golly, lady, like, you record our conversations, but that's how she's able to remember what people said, when they said it, how they said it, whatever, because she has a point of reference.
Right.
And a lot of times we don't do that, so we just allow the conversation to go and flow or whatever without any real substance to fall back on. We just, rely on our memory and think our memory is 100%, but we also know that the mind can play tricks on you too. So I think that's what it really comes down to.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I mean, it's a helpful tip, not want everybody to have to write down notes after a conversation, but
right.
Again, when you have information that you want to remember, writing it down makes, it's a helpful tip. Definitely. It's a helpful tip.
So but I thank y'all very much for listening. One of the things I want y'all to consider, right now, just take the moment to consider what a successful year could look like for you. It's not a goal. I'm not asking you to write down goals or anything like that. I'm just saying, like, over the next year, what is your definition of success? Everybody's definition of success is different. So if your success is, I want to be able to walk down steps, without the level of fear that I'm going to fall or whatever it is, and so then if you have that idea, what is it going to take for you to achieve that? Or whatever. Yes, it sounds like a goal, but there's other parts of that as well. And some of that could be, hey, I need to strengthen my legs. I need to eat better. Whatever it might be.
Yes.
So just, think about what a successful year might look like for you and for those around you. And if you can, please share this episode. With anyone that you think might be feeling a little bit stuck, right? That you think someone that might feel like, hey, I don't know how to move my life forward, my relationships forward, or whatever it is. And, let them know that, hey, in order for you to be more confident in it, get more clear.
Yes.
So that's all I got to say for today.
Very well. Thank you all so much for listening.
And we'll talk to you all a little bit later.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the No Fruit Podcast, where we bring you fruitful conversations, ripened wisdom, and love that's deeply rooted. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave us a review, and share it with someone who could use a little inspiration in their day. Until next time, stay rooted in love, and remember, every seed you plant today shapes the fruit of tomorrow.